So after spending about, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 hours today working on an anticipation video of what we could expect for 2XKO at EVO Japan, Riot went ahead and beat me to the punch, which ordinarily that would be a little bit annoying, but you know, to be completely honest, I expected that that was likely going to be the case, that we would get some sort of new info drop in the next couple of days and kind of breaking down what you can expect for the new demo that's coming up. But on top of that, it looks like we got a pretty beefy one. Gonna guess it probably invalidates everything that I've been working on for the last 3 hours or whatever it's been, but hopefully it's for good cause. So I guess let's go ahead and see what we're getting into this evening. Obviously, bilge water.
Life is motion, not peace.
That's like really loud, sorry. And there's like her critical strike, her little charge heavy, it looks like. Okay, so they are finally showing off her actual tentacle uses. So, hold on. I think they talked about this really early on in their development diaries, that they wanted her to have like spawning tentacles like that. Like they wanted to straight up have it like League, where it like passively can spawn and basically like continue combos. But damn, it's really weird to see that in a fighting game, to be honest. So I'm curious how that'll be with like block strings and things like that. Like, is this thing just going to passively whip at you, or is there like really specific things that trigger it to happen? But I guess we'll see. And I think that's like a level 1 ult that she just did with that little ground pound. Ooh, damn. That extension was cool. 3? Oh, an air grab, cool. No. What the f... Damn, that level 2 is actually really sick. That might be the best one they've done so far.
Hey everyone, I'm Caroline.
Hello, Caroline.
2XKO.
Sick ult.
Give you an update on the latest addition to our roster, a champion who will be available to play for the very first time at this year's.
Loving the Bilgewater themed background too. That's excellent. Sick art too.
Demands that she take control of her own destiny by always moving forward. She wields a golden totem to test the will of her opponents and summon tentacles to fight by her side. In 2XKO, Illaoi is a heavy-hitting juggernaut who overwhelms enemies with.
That's like some testament stuff. That little ground hit. Was it Arbiter sign?
Then using tentacles to lock her opponent down and combo out of control.
And there's that level 1 again.
Her kit revolves around summoning and activating spear tentacles. First, she can use any of her S2 specials to spawn a tentacle. Then,
so weird.
She can use any of her S1 specials to trigger a tentacle follow-up attack, as long as her opponent is within that tentacle splash zone. Even if her opponent...
Okay, so like if you're using a special and that's what actually triggers it, maybe it's not as bad as I'm worried about, because it's basically like a double tap at that point. Like you're basically triggering it with an attack already, if I'm understanding this correctly. So it's still crazy that you could spawn multiple of them. Like the screen presence alone is pretty wild, but I don't want to jump to conclusions. It does seem really wicked. That makes me nervous, I'm not gonna lie, but again, I don't want to jump to conclusions.
Certain moves to teleport the nearest tentacle to them. She can also use Prayer of Motion or Prayer in Stagnation to activate tentacles from a distance. While tentacles are an important
so she's got like a bit of zoning.
She's not a puppet character. We didn't want.
She's not a puppet character. She's not a puppet character.
Instead, they're like rewards that Illaoi can earn by playing well. It means always staying in motion and taking smart risks to take control of the game. Illaoi can also lose tentacles if her opponent hits them, in which case Illaoi can still do big damage, but she does lose access to some of her strongest neutral options. This means she'll have to take more risks or use an assist to engage her opponent, which isn't ideal. In development, there was a lot of debate around how tentacles should work. Should they be
understandably
Illaoi? Should they be completely independent of her? Both of these options felt very sink or swim, so we opted for a more balanced route where Illaoi can activate tentacles without making direct contact with an opponent, but that opponent still has counterplay against them.
Okay.
Beyond her tentacles, we wanted Illaoi's kit to capture her incredible size, strength, and momentum, and her supers are no exception. With her S1 super crashing waves, Illaoi picks up her opponent, swings them overhead, and slams
So it looks
them
like it
into
hits
the ground
OTG.
twice. If she already has a tentacle up, holding S1 will reposition it so that she can stay on the offense after her super ends.
Wow.
Her S2 super, Wrath of Nagakeboros, summons giant tentacles that smack the ground around them. It also
Okay.
turns any tentacles that were already active into giant tentacles,
So that's-
and leaves one behind after it ends.
That's almost like her league ult. Like it just spawns the tentacles up and they just lash you like that. And it even has like the little ghost passive little background. Yeah, I hate to say it. It does make me nervous to see all this on the screen. It's definitely staying very much in line with like the gimmicks that they're giving each character though. So like obviously like Echo has his time revolving stuff. Darius has the wound mechanic. Yasuo seems like he's really heavily leaning into like stance switching and stuff like that. And then Ari's got like a literal ammunition with her spirit orbs. So it makes sense that Illaoi would have something like this, but damn, like the amount of it. And the other thing is I feel like I've actually heard some of the content creators who have had hands-on time with Illaoi say that like Illaoi was like a really strong character even early on. And they did very much explicitly say that Illaoi was unfinished at the time that a lot of the people got to playtest her back in the day. But even still, she was like really powerful, like she stood out. So I'm curious if they're gonna have to like change her around and really make sure they don't overdo it, because I definitely see the potential for them to overdo it. But it's a cool mechanic for sure. And that super
It can be
was
an
so
extremely
sick, man.
impressive move, but if Illaoi or her duo is hit at any point during the super, her tentacles will disappear. So it's safest to use against an opponent who's knocked down. Finally,
And hitting her stops it,
Illaoi's
which is
ultimate,
definitely a
Test of
good
Spirit,
call.
sends her opponent's soul to the depths.
And
where
this is
they'll
awesome.
Come face to face with Nagakeboros. We
Oh,
love
so
the
that's
idea of
like the
Illaoi
actual
smacking the
deity.
spirit out of her opponent and beating it
That's
up as
wicked.
an homage to her kid in League. Test of Spirit is a mid-range move with super fast startup, which makes it great for ending combos as a whiff punish or for hitting an
So it's
assist
like some
away.
Cthulhu level.
Also
That's
invincible
awesome.
on startup, making it a powerful reversal. Illaoi is pretty capable on her own, but her powerful assists make her an equally formidable tag partner. Her back assist
Hey,
is a
crab
long-range
guy.
tentacle strike, same as her S1 special.
Okay, so just the
If there's
lash
already a
assist.
tentacle in range of her opponent, it'll perform its usual follow-up attack. Illaoi's forward assist is the same as her S2 special. On its own, the assist is great for controlling mid-range, but using handshake tag
That's like
immediately
jam session,
afterwards
like that
lets
upwards
Illaoi
pillar.
Swap in and use the
Interesting.
tentacle she just created to keep the pressure on. When she's not on screen, Illaoi's
Dante
tentacles
assist from
stick around
Marvel
to offer
3,
her
by the way.
teammates an extra offensive support. Even when she's KO'd, Illaoi can use Last Stand to activate Wrath of Nagakeboros and send the opponent to Tentacle City. When choosing a tag partner for Illaoi, remember she wants to back opponents into a corner, but getting them there might be risky. Illaoi's ideal tag partner is someone with strong neutral and high mobility who can make space for Illaoi to engage.
What's that? An
Ari is a
overhead
prime
looked like?
example. Her speed and long range allow her to catch opponents that Illaoi can't
Woo.
always pin down. Her assists also
Damn,
help
the double
Illaoi
Vegeta
get
assist.
combos or convert a defensive
Going
tag
crazy
to
with the
big damage.
conversions.
Again, Illaoi will be available to play at this year's EVO Japan, along with Echo, Ari, Darius, and Yasuo. If you're attending, try her out with or against your friends and let's
I guess
know what
that's
you
the
think.
first time we've seen a new chroma for her as well. Decent. I like the red one.
Otherwise, you can still sign up for at-home playtests happening later this year, and follow us on social for all future
Nice.
Illaoi updates.
Wow, I'm surprised to hear that they're already talking about the at-home playtests again. Okay, so that was a really extensive trailer. Like, they gave a full breakdown of the character, like what they're kind of aiming to do with them, and just like really get into the specials. I like that a lot. I feel like this is the most that they've shown up front with a character like this, because even the Yasuo trailer, I feel like it was kind of like half a Yasuo trailer where they just like had a really quick montage of his abilities, and then they got into stuff about like what was going on at EVO. Like, it wasn't necessarily just a video about him. It was really just like an information, like, here's the character, reveal him, and then here's what's going on at EVO. So it's pretty cool that they actually had like an extensive breakdown trailer like this. I really hope that this is what they do going forward. Like, they have, it kind of reminds me of even like the little tutorials that they've been doing in Guilty Gear Strive, where they'll release the character and they come out with like a little hey, here's all the specials and here's like some basic stuff of what they do. But this isn't quite as in depth, but I imagine that they'll probably have a lot more stuff like that when the characters are actually coming out or the game comes out. But yeah, overall, Illaoi looks really wicked. Like, she looks really clean. She definitely looks like herself. Like, a lot of her stuff looks really familiar to her League self. Like, obviously the spawning of tentacles, the tentacle lashing. I don't think that she does the whole thing where she like pulls a spirit version of people into them and she can just whop up on that. Thankfully, that seems like that'd be absolutely crazy, especially with the rest of her kit that she's got going on for this fighting game equivalent. But the tentacle stuff looks very strong. I'll put it that way. So we'll see. But overall, yeah, she looks great. I mean, still a really interesting choice for them to add her, especially this early on. Like, there's only a handful of characters, and then for them to announce and showcase Illaoi this heavily is pretty wicked. But so far, it's paying off. But can't wait to see more of her with the this weekend. I guess I imagine we're gonna get to see a ton of hands-on time with her, and I'm really interested to see how people can capitalize with these tentacles with very little experience. Like, I wonder if this is going to be a character that you have to really maximize her potential. Like Echo seems really strong, but he seems very advanced. Like, for you to really get the most out of him, you really seem like you have to know what you're doing. Like, you got to put time into that character. And I'm curious if Illaoi is going to be the same way, or if she can kind of get away with murder and just spawn a bunch of tentacles, and it's pretty low risk, low reward type of, or low risk, high reward rather. Who knows? Maybe they'll even have some craziness, some more updates that we're not anticipating quite yet. But at the very least, Illaoi looks great, and I will absolutely be watching a lot of footage. I think that's about it for now. So thank you guys so much as always for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'll probably talk to you really soon with all this new footage coming out. So bye, guys.